You ready to do some tricks, buddy? Okay. Touch. Good boy. Touch. Good boy. Can you give me paw? Good boy. Other paw. Good boy. You're so smart. High five. Good boy. You're so good.
For a dog like Kobe, life had never been kind. He was a pit bull. He was old. And inside the shelter system, those two things often make a dog almost invisible. No families came asking about him. No adoption applications arrived. No one pointed at his kennel and said, "That's the one I want." He didn't fit the image people usually fall in love with. He wasn't a fluffy puppy with bright eyes and a perfect coat. His appearance alone caused most people to walk right past him. Eventually, the shelter placed Kobe on the euthanasia list. At the time, I was volunteering with a rescue group in Chicago called One Tail at a Time. One day, they shared a photo of Kobe online. Something about him stopped me. Maybe it was the way he stared directly into the camera, or maybe it was simply instinct.
Want to try some melon? Yeah, what do you think? Want to try? Good boy. Take a little bite. Go for it.
Days passed, and still no one offered to take him. Finally, I decided I would. When Kobe first came home with me, his condition was heartbreaking. Most of his fur was gone, his skin had lost its color, and he was severely underweight. He was clearly sick and needed constant care. I bathed him every other day to treat his mange and spent weeks hoping his body would slowly recover.
All right, Kobe, you ready? You ready to go outside? You ready for this?
What surprised me most, though, wasn't his physical condition. It was how quickly he learned to trust. Almost immediately, Kobe acted as though he understood he was finally safe. There was no fear in him anymore. Despite everything he had been through, he remained gentle, curious, and strangely hopeful. Before long, he wandered through the house as if it had always been his home. Then I heard his bark for the first time. It was unlike any bark I had ever heard before, soft, unusual, almost musical in its own way. That was when I realized something important. Kobe wasn't damaged. He had simply been waiting for someone to care. Over time, he slowly began to heal. Pigment returned to his skin. Small gray spots appeared. His fur started growing back little by little. Even now, his coat is still imperfect, covered in unique patches and markings that somehow make him even more beautiful. People often stop us on the street to ask what kind of dog he is. From far away, his coat almost looks purple. Strangers admire him now, and every time they do, I think about how close he came to disappearing unnoticed. Kobe had belonged to someone once. When he arrived at the shelter, he still had a microchip. His previous owners were contacted, but nobody ever came back for him. I'll probably never know why he was abandoned. Today, Kobe is 12 years old. He walks more slowly now and spends more time sleeping. Sometimes I look at him and wonder how many lonely nights he spent waiting for kindness before we found each other. But one thing is certain. Now he wakes up every day, safe, comfortable, and loved. And that means everything. Senior dogs are often the ones who need people most. Puppies are adopted quickly. Younger dogs are chosen first almost every time. But older dogs, the quiet ones who wait patiently in the background, deserve love just as much. I originally fostered Kobe for 5 months. One evening, we were sitting quietly outside together. He leaned gently against me while I listened to him breathe. And in that silent moment, I understood he already belonged with me. Without saying anything out loud, I promised him he would never be abandoned again. He was finally home. If you ever think about adopting an animal, I hope you take a moment to look deeper than appearances. Look beyond the gray fur, the scars, the tired eyes, or the age listed on the paperwork. Because love rarely arrives in perfect form. Sometimes the animals who need saving don't know how to ask for affection anymore. They've spent so long surviving quietly that they've learned not to expect kindness. Sometimes they simply sit beside you and slowly learn to trust again. And over time, without dramatic moments or grand gestures, they change your life completely. They teach patience, they teach loyalty, and they show you how meaningful it is to earn the trust of someone who once had every reason not to trust at all. That kind of love never leaves you. Our team puts in a great deal of effort behind the scenes to discover and share real-life stories that genuinely matter. Every video is thoughtfully created, carefully researched, edited using reliable sources, and handled with the respect each story deserves. What you see isn't just designed to inspire. It's created to be authentic, impactful, and meaningful.